Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Wednesday, May 4, 2022. We have the Sun in Taurus and a waxing crescent moon in Gemini, making ingress to Cancer this evening. So we express strength and security by drawing in resources that add value to our lives, and we transition today from the urge to share ideas and plans to a focus more on the heart and the home. The waxing crescent phase in Cancer invites us to consider how we feel about the plans we're making and what that will be like when our dreams culminate. Don't forget your emotions or gut intuition when you're setting intentions, because if it feels wrong, it's probably not going to work out very well for you. Solar Beltane began just a few days ago. This is the midpoint celebration, halfway between spring equinox and summer solstice. It's important to celebrate our material resources at this time. Our bodies, our jobs and businesses, the sources of our livelihood are the subjects of our rituals and prayers of strength and increase. In about a week and a half, we will celebrate lunar Beltane with a full moon and a lunar eclipse in Taurus's opposing sign, Scorpio. So these 2 weeks between the beginning of solar Beltane and when we have that lunar Beltane with the lunar eclipse, they're significant. This is a significant time and an excellent opportunity to pour our intentions and prayers into our appreciation for the sun and what the sun means for our lives as it moves toward its peak influence. Like cheering our favorite team onto the field, our actions now reflect our enthusiasm and our hopes for a successful season. I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I will point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the keys, so if you desire a point of reference, it's right here. Otherwise, I have divided the page into 2 columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is about your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects that the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of ourselves in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side because they have a greater influence and effect on that outward expression. We begin on the moon side today, friends, at 6:51 in the morning. Central Standard Time. Even though I am currently in California, I live in Arkansas, and that's why I do this stuff in Central Standard Time. So at 6:51, Moon goes trine to Saturn. Gemini, Cancer, Capricorn, and Aquarius, likely to feel these vibes pretty strong. We have some work to do in the inner life, whether it is for the heart or for the home. Let your efforts be the kind that lend you strength for the long run. And then just about 20 minutes later at 7:15 in the morning, Moon goes square to Neptune. Gemini, Cancer, Pisces have ruling signs here. Some of us will be easily deceived at this time. Even though we are sensitive, it doesn't mean that all of our hunches and intuitions are always correct. Taken together, one good way to strengthen our inner lives is to make sure we have our facts straight when our emotions run high. So let's not allow ourselves to jump to conclusions or to assume things, especially when it regards the heart and home, the people that we keep close to us. At 3:37 this afternoon, a void of course moon goes square to Jupiter. So void of course means this is the last aspect that the moon is making in the sign of Gemini before it transitions to Cancer. And Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces have ruling planets for this aspect. Jupiter wants us to have a good time. The only challenge that comes up when Moon is square to Jupiter is if we overindulge in whatever it is that we like to use to celebrate. And likewise, if we perhaps overindulge somebody else or overhelp them. Our void of course period today is about 2.5 hours. This is a time when the moon is less under the influence of any specific sign, and the lack of influence makes it a good time to turn within, to listen to our hearts and have important conversations with ourselves and with spirit. Meditation, journaling, ritual, and creative practices are encouraged at this time. Then at 6:05 this evening, Moon makes ingress to Cancer. So Moon is Cancer's ruling sign, and at this time, our inner lives are focused on the heart and the home. We give care and nurture ourselves and our loved ones. Cancer is the fixed water sign, so it's a good idea to use water in the self-care and the care of your home. You can make a nutritious meal, you can take a bath, you can drink plenty of water, make sure you get hydrated. It's a great way to take care of yourself. And finally, this evening at 11:57, 5-7, Moon goes square to Venus. Taurus, Cancer, and Libra have rulers here. This is the self-care challenge, friends. Our efforts to attract what we desire at this time can come off as needy or grasping. Let's see what we can do to give ourselves the validation we seek there. On the sun side today at 10:47 in the morning, Moon goes, no, not Moon, excuse me, Mars goes sextile to Uranus right there, bringing in another layer of positivity, fun, and grace as we go through these shifts and changes. So Aries, Scorpio, and Aquarius may especially notice this vibe. Let's see, we are graced right now with quick, intuitive decision making and an ability to enjoy ourselves as we take action to shape our lives. Now, in the ongoing column, Venus sextile Pluto will be with us through the 6th. Taurus, Libra, and Scorpio have ruling planets here. This aspect will be with us through the 6th, like I said. So recall the ongoing conversation we've been having about the expansion of our vessel for receiving energy and resources, right? That's Venus, our receptive quality. This aspect merges our personal receptive capacity with emotional and intuitive depth in a working relationship right here that generates good outcomes. We love more deeply right now. We feel more profoundly for the people and things that we value the most. So spend some time with those you feel most attached to. Find ways to express the way you feel, the depth and the breadth of it, your appreciation for one another, and together you may be able to create something beautiful and new. Yesterday, Jupiter went sextile to Pluto, so Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Jupiter sees the evolution that we are undergoing as individuals and as a collective, and Jupiter wants to bring us ease as we move through this period of transformation. This aspect is with us through the 8th and promises us some access to grace in transition. Take it where you find it, friends. It's all for personal growth. Mercury sextile Venus is here with us through the 11th. This has been bringing us positive, cooperative vibes between the intellect and our ability to attract what we need and desire. Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Libra have ruling planets here. We are now empowered to negotiate the terms by which we receive attention, affection, and compensation. Now, I want you to be realistic. I want you to take inflation into account. Take the physical labor you do, the emotional labor, the mental labor that you do into account, and ask for what you truly need in return for what you give. Venus requires Venus requires to have a sense that our relationships are balanced. That can take some advocating for ourselves, and now is the time. This is the right opportunity to do that. Mercury sextile Jupiter will be with us through May 28. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. This month we have exceptional mental clarity regarding the big picture in our lives. So it's time to articulate the bigger, more complex and rewarding ideas and plans we have for ourselves. Lay them out, pay attention to the details. Your efforts here, again, are blessed with positive outcomes. And then Mercury trine Pluto is here through June 19th. So this one's a huge blessing. It's about really being able to express, but also about being able to see to the heart of things. This aspect reinforces the fact that this is an ideal time to share our thoughts and plans with others. We can be very persuasive at this time as we're capable of seeing through to the core of things and speaking to what is most important. So what comes up can come out, right? And that trine is the most positive, ideal possible functioning between your intellect, your ability to think, plan, and communicate, and sort of the depths, the inner depths of your intuition and your emotions, but also just being able to see deeply into situations and other people. Let's use our powers for good, right? Gemini, Virgo, and Scorpio, let us know your experience with this one. Pluto retrograde. Pluto is retrograde through October 8th. Pluto's retrograde is always about 6 months out of the year, apparently from our perspective, right? Retrograde isn't a reality out there in the in the solar system. It's just a matter of our perspective because we are on our own trajectory around the sun and watching other planets on their trajectories around the sun. So sometimes they appear to go backwards, and that's what's going on right now. Pluto is our planet for the depths and the extremes, right? The endings and the beginnings, the death and the rebirth. And this is Pluto's final retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto's been in Capricorn for 25 years or more. This will be Pluto's final retrograde in Capricorn before moving into Aquarius next year. And it's bound to bring in some intensity as we go through some of the final, for now, shifts in our internal sense of what works for us to achieve our goals and to build something strong. This is also a time when the things that don't work, like bad habits or toxicity in our relationships or poor money management, will be painfully clear to us. It's the time when if something needs to come to an end or we need to make a fresh start with something, it's going to become really obvious, okay? And Jupiter went sextile to Pluto yesterday, giving us the grace to move through these changes that we have to make as early as we can. So keep your eyes open for your opportunities to step in the right direction for your transitions. Take them when you see them. Be a willing and engaged participation in the transformations that you're undergoing, because listen, personal evolution and cultural evolution, these things are happening with or without us. So you can either resist or you can go with the flow, and honestly often we make it better for ourselves if we just lean into the changes that we see coming. Be accepting of them, move toward them in a positive fashion. Tomorrow, Sun will go conjunct to Uranus, revealing to us all of the changes that are underway around us. And then on Saturday, Sun goes conjunct to Mars, blessing just about any actions we'd like to initiate. And then this Sunday will bring our first quarter moon in Leo. This is a time to set our planning into action. Okay, friends, that's it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you for being here. Please like my video, click the notifications bell, subscribe to my channel. I post here every day and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I also appreciate it very much when you comment to ask questions and provide encouragement. I see you doing it and it warms my heart, but it isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening. It lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content, and that helps a lot as well. And if you know anyone else for whom this guidance may resonate, I encourage you to share. Sharing is caring after all. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I will discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's go ahead and get into that. The tarot card that sits on the side of the page right now is the Six of Pentacles, and it relates to the second 10 days of the sun's transit through Taurus. So sun transits in Taurus for 30 days, and we'll have 3 10-day sections. This is the middle of spring. So the Six of Pentacles refers to our earthly resources, and that's your health, your body, your bodily well-being, and it's also your possessions, your finances, your personal wealth, what it is that you have, in terms of resources that you can use to live a life that you would like to live. So pentacles, that's what pentacles are. They look like coins, and it's really about the coins. Or if it's not about the coins, it's also about the well-being of your body. And the Six of Pentacles indicates, a period where, in the Five of Pentacles, there was this warning to not go without something that you need, to go ahead and ask for the resources that you need. The Six of Pentacles represents a person who figured out how to call in what they needed, okay? They advocated for themselves. They were able to let people know what it is that they want. They took into account all the inflation and the work that they were doing and said, this is what I've got to have, right? And because they were able to do that, and they put in some work, because pentacles always also indicate like physical work, or they always indicate labor. So this person has put in the work, and now they have enough abundance in their life. They have enough material resources. They have good health, and they have plenty of money, or plenty of some kind of physical resource, that they are able to get the things that they want to feel well supported in their own lives, so much so that they're able to even share some of their wealth with others. And what is the point of gaining very good health or very good wealth? What is the point of having a well-resourced life if we're not going to contribute to other people's growth and satisfaction, right? So this is a reminder that if you have good physical resources, sharing is caring. It's important to share, and it's important to contribute to the well-being of others as well. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some tarot cards here while I look again at astrology and remind myself and the cards that the sun is currently in Taurus. And sun in Taurus is a time of stabilization, of growth, right? Through the drawing in of resources. And one of the best sort of allegories for that would just be like a plant putting down roots into the soil, right? The seedling sprouted, and now it's ready to put down roots and grow into a strong plant. And that's where we're at. We're putting down the roots, and we're starting to grow strong. What I did not mention here is that Uranus is also in Taurus as well, and that, indicates, as it has, because Uranus has been in Taurus, some shifting in what it takes for us to feel as though we are well-resourced, some changes happening in our sense of stability and security that we're going to have to roll with in order to have what we need, right? Like, for example, and I keep bringing this example up, but everything is going up. The prices of gas are going up, and the prices of food are going up, right? So these are resources that a lot of us require so that we can feel well supported and do the things that we need to do in the world. And we're having to get a little creative, and we're having to advocate for ourselves a little bit more in order to increase the flow of those resources. We're also changing our minds a little bit about what resources it is that we need. If one thing is kind of difficult to come by, we might just look around for another way to get that need met, right? The waxing crescent moon in Gemini moves to Cancer this evening around 6. And, waxing crescent is the time to be setting intentions, setting goals, making our plans for the next couple of weeks, so that we can have something to celebrate with the culmination of the new moon. But also, just setting our plans, our short-term plans and our long-term plans, I should say. So not everything will necessarily be culminated by the new moon, but hopefully we'll have something by then to look back and say, hey, look what I achieved, right? And on the sun side of the page, Mars went sextile to Uranus today. So this is there's a lot of speed, there's a lot of action in this aspect. There's a lot of impulsive behavior and positive outcomes that come with it. Sextile is cooperative. So it's like your sense of initiative and action is working well together with your impulsive desire to make changes. And so you can have good outcomes from that. And in the ongoing column, oh, we've got so much Venus, Pluto, Jupiter, Mercury, right? It's all Venus, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mercury. It's about, how we receive what we want, how we advocate for ourselves, what we plan to do, what is our bigger plan for ourselves, what is going on deep in the inside, and how can we go through these transformations with ease and grace, communicating well, while we evolve our sense of stability from the inside. See, that Uranus in Taurus is really like the shifting, put that Uranus sign up there. The Uranus in Taurus is about the shifting landscape of our security, and Pluto retrograde is about the evolution of our sense of secure stability, because Pluto has been in Capricorn all this time, and Pluto retrograde is internal transformation. So here we go, right? And then on the moon side of the page, we have some square aspects. We've got some little challenges coming in there. Let's try to take care of ourselves. If we feel desiring of something that nobody else at this time can or will give us, then perhaps we can give that to ourselves. Moon square Jupiter is always a good time because we feel our expansion and our growth, and we feel very generous, like we want to share and be good company with others. The square, the challenge is just not to overindulge ourselves or anyone else. And then this moon trine Saturn with the moon square Neptune, they're taken together because they happen within the hour of one another, and these are all 2-hour aspects, except for this transit here is 2.5 days. Otherwise, these are all 2-hour aspects. So those two are kind of really overlapped, put together. What I got from it was that we need to make sure that we verify our hunches, okay? That we just don't rely on our intuition without looking for the facts, because we're not always right when it comes to our intuitions, even if we feel like they're really all on. And moon in Cancer, great time to be at home, to nourish and nurture ourselves and our loved ones, to focus on feeling good at home, how we feel, and the people that we keep the closest to us. And with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card. Got the 9 of Wands. Okay, so Wands are fire. Fire is about drive, spark, activity, passion, the stuff that makes you move forward, the stuff that puts you into action. And wands, I know I've said this before, wands is something that I think of like achievements or trophies, right? So, like you do something great, you make a step forward in your life, and you have like a trophy or a memento of the action that you took that had a good outcome. And, about 9 times in, you've got a pretty good stand of trophies there standing behind you, and you've got like one latest achievement that you've made. You're like looking around like, okay, maybe I can go ahead and put this trophy in the case. If you see this person, they look a little damaged up. They look like they fought pretty hard to make all of these achievements. They have a lot of passion and a lot of drive, and they're ready and willing to take action all the time. They're really ready to fight for whatever it is that they want to do. But looking forward, the 10 of Wands says, you've made so many achievements that you're burdened down by them. You kind of can't see the road before you because you're looking back on everything that you can do. So 9 of Wands to me often looks a little bit like a defensive position. It looks like sort of defending your reputation. Sometimes this is necessary. Sometimes people come after you and they see everything that you've done, and they wanted to say, oh, well, that's not so much, or they want to discount where you are because without looking at where you've been. And so sometimes it's necessary for us to speak up and say, hey, you know what? No, I was there when this happened and I took care of this and I did this thing. It is important at times to defend our reputations. But remember that we are not just the culmination of the things that we have done in the past, okay? We have futures, we have hopes and desires, and we don't always have to be the same person we have been in the past, okay? We don't have to rest on those laurels. We don't have to be constantly defending where we've been, especially if eventually it's going to get in the way of our ability to see where we are going. Okay, so again, you know, defend your reputation, defend your achievements and the things that you've done if you feel that you must, but you know, don't do it to the detriment of being able to move forward, even to have, you know, gain new skills and have new drives and passions. And taken together with the Six of Pentacles, a 6 and a 9, so we've got threes here. I would say, you know, one of the things that we don't have to defend or brag about in terms of trophies or achievements is the stuff that we've given away. All right. So, you know, if you found yourself in a position where you have plenty of resources and you have resources now that you can share with others, this is great. But we don't also have to wear a badge that says, hey, I gave these gifts, or we don't have to wear a badge that says, you know, hey, I've given so much money to charity, blah, 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 that kind of thing. This kind of thing is done because it is good for us and it's good for the people around us to, you know, for us to share our resources, to share our wealth, to share our experience, and we don't have to be defensive of that experience, nor do we have to advertise it. And that's what's coming across for me with that right now. Okay, I think we're all done, friends. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you showing up. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.